Thank you for joining us today. Anything you hear in this podcast is not to be taken for medical advice. This podcast is for information purposes only, and should you find something interesting in the information spoken about, please consult your physician further.
All right.
Oh, I was just going to grab that for you.
Hello and welcome to the Broken Road Podcast. I'm your host, Trent Peterson. Today I got Stacy Peterson cutting my hair.
Hello.
Super excited about that. She came into ICU and cut my hair when I was in a pretty good bind. Amber had called and asked her if she could do something special for me, just to make me feel more human. So I thought it'd be cool to kind of do a podcast with Stacy and kind of ask her about what she does overall, which I think is more than just cutting hair to me personally. So I was talking with Amber this morning and kind of went over a couple things, was thinking about what we'd talk about. And it kind of dawned on me, getting your haircuts really similar to eating a dinner with friends or going out and socializing. When you don't have it, it's I'll have to end up
normalizing. It's making you feel normal again.
It does really. It's kind of a staple in life you don't really think about, and I've become more grateful for all these things. But it's kind of a reboot, like Amber was saying, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do we want? Real quick, what do we want to do? Zero up.
Zero up.
Okay.
Yeah, and then probably kind of keep it a little bit longer on top this time.
Okay. We're gonna start off with this.
So, how long have you been cutting hair, Stacy?
13 years. Long time.
Yep. It doesn't take long for that time to add up.
It sure don't.
I bet that'd be interesting to see what that sounds like on the microphone.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be loud.
That's okay. We can edit that out.
Yeah.
So you came into ICU. What was that like for you going up there to cut my hair?
Well, it was fine. I was just nervous because, first off, I wasn't sure they were going to let a hairdresser come in there and cut hair. But they did. And I was nervous about seeing how you reacted and how you felt and, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I got some pictures of it. No video, but I do got a picture I plan on posting. And I was really almost blind at that point, and you can kind of tell in the pictures that I really just can't see what's going on. But I could hear it. I knew you were there, and I could see well enough to know it was you. But it was definitely that was a tough time right there in ICU.
Yeah, I think it was tough for everybody. I mean, even when I walked in there, and seeing the feeding tube and all that, just kind of reality. I guess it really kind of hit that something really was wrong.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't know it was wrong, but you know what I mean.
Well, it's different seeing it than hearing it. I think a lot of people avoid the hospital because it's just kind of a tough deal for people to swallow down.
Right.
A lot of people aren't comfortable with it. There's a lot to take in, so super appreciative of you coming up there. And
I was honored for it to even be asked, so because I know you didn't really want a whole lot of company, so.
No, I didn't. I really wish now, I kind of look back, I wish I'd have documented a little more because there were a lot of special things that happened, and even some people showed up when I didn't want anybody to show up. So,
yeah.
I didn't really want anybody up or any pictures taken. I really was just kind of hoping I was going to wake up from a bad dream.
Yeah.
But the haircut was awesome. It felt a lot fresher and cleaner, always do.
And the nurses were really nice about it too. They were like, yeah, come on in. And that's fine. You can do that. Because I was afraid that they weren't going to let me.
I know. I'm kind of wondering if that was just kind of a lucky deal there, or if it's something we may be able to do for somebody in the future, which, I think we could pay you through the Broken Road podcast.
Yeah. I'm totally down for it.
Anyhow, we'll just kind of see if that's something we can do in the future if you're interested in it.
Yeah, for sure.
So I was also thinking that, and you just guided me on this, but being a haircut professional is kind of like being a psychiatrist, a psychologist, all that wrapped in
I know
one.
all the dirty secrets.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
And then you kind of you run by almost the same rules as HIPAA.
Yeah.
You can talk about a situation. Yeah. You can talk about a situation, but you sure can't use a name.
Exactly.
Oh, that's funny. That was something that came to mind today. Just probably all the things over the years that you've heard.
Well, and I know their families. You know, I may not have ever met any of their kids or parents or any of them, but I know their families because they talk about them all the time, and I ask about them when they come in for my people that I have, my standing customers. So I have one lady I just did the other day that had, I know about her mom. Her brother has a challenging life because he's mentally, but I've never met him, but I feel like I know him because she tells me all about him and her mom and everything else.
Yeah, that's neat. So you kind of get to live multiple different lives vicariously,
Yes.
just through your work.
Yes.
It also kind of seems to me like there's servitude to what you do. I know you do get paid when you do it. You've taken really good care of us as far as family goes, but there's got to be something that keeps you coming back to cutting hair because you do have another job, right?
Yes, I have a big girl job. And yes, but I do love doing hair. It's my downtime. It's my relaxing time. And honestly, when I used to work with Amber and I did facials, that was my time to kind of wind down and just kind of chill for the end of the day. And that was awesome too. But I just like to do hair because I like to make people feel better.
That's exactly what I was trying to get to. And I can totally relate with that. I can see that being rewarding. It's always nice when you get your hair done and you get to look back in the mirror after it's done. You're like, oh, it looks great. I feel like a new person. And I'm sure with you doing hair color and all the different things, you do total transformations on people. So
that's really fun when I do that. When I first started off, I'll never forget this story. I had a girl that come in. Her hair was always short, and I've known her for a long time, but she always had her hair short, but it was real curly. And she walked in and was like, okay, I just need it cut up here by my ears. And I'm like, yeah, no, not today. And she was like, what do you mean? I said, not if I'm cutting your hair. It ain't. You look like a Q-tip. Because I am very blunt with my clients. But that's
you're
what they
very
like.
blunt in life in general. I love it.
Well, they like it. They keep coming back anyway.
Oh, yeah. No, that's great.
They like the abuse.
Huh?
They like the abuse.
Yeah. It's funny how we do that as humans. It's like, I kind of actually feel a little better after getting beat up for an hour.
Yeah. Well, that was a big transformation that we did for her, and she started growing her hair out and coloring it and wearing makeup, and I was very proud of that moment.
Yeah, no doubt. So now, as far as I'm sure you've had to help some people through some chemo treatments and things like that as well over the years.
Yeah, my best friend has cancer now, and I had to cut her hair, and that was the hardest thing that I have ever done. And now I have another friend that is going through cancer, and she texted me the other day and said, I want you to realize you will be shaving my hair. I'm like, gee, thanks. And that's hard. It's hard, especially when it's somebody you're close to.
Well, and I think there's men care about their hair as well, but it's a totally different thing for women. There's an emotional attachment to that. It's part of your womanhood, and having to shave it or lose it is I can only imagine.
Yeah. Well, my best friend called me up and sent me a picture of all of her hair on her pillow, and she said, "Okay, it's time."
Oh goodness.
So I got over there, and her kids were there. Nobody knew that we were doing it. I'm standing there bawling, and her son walks in. He starts crying. Her daughter walks in. She starts crying, and she goes, "What are y'all crying for? It's just hair. I've already dealt with this. Let's do it. Come on."
Yeah, she's already done her mourning.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That was the hardest thing I ever done, though.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tough deal, but it's special that you're able to do that for people, and
But it's also an honor to be asked to come like this, for instance, to come and be on your podcast. That was kind of cool. And it's an honor. It makes me feel like I've done something good.
You most definitely did, and that's what I'm trying to highlight now. I think you've done a lot of special things for people over the years that you probably don't even realize.
You're probably right, yeah.
Yeah, you spend a lot of time with people. They're probably, you don't necessarily know what they're going through when they come in for a haircut, but I mean, the reason why we named the Broken Road Project what it is because everybody's broken. I mention it on almost every podcast, but we all have issues, whether you see them or not. And I'm sure people, like I said, get to walk out and feel like a new person, and they've shed some of that weight off of their shoulders, literally and figuratively. For
real.
Leave,
for real. Because I mean, I've had people going through divorces, and not that I'm the world's greatest psychiatrist for that, but I listen.
Well, you got practice.
Yeah, I got practice at it. Totally. But I listen to them and try to give my advice on try to help them through it as much as I can. It's hard, especially people that have been married for so long and my husband left me, or I've had guys tell me the same thing about the women. So,
well, that's another thing I think is, that started off as just the podcast and the project in general. I think the project will still remain for trauma victims, but, it keeps leading to different situations that people have to deal with, and there's trauma to divorce as well.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody suffers, and I think it's one of those deals, too, that you kind of hide, put a Band-Aid on it. Social media hides a lot of stuff, and people look at it and think, especially young people now, they may look at a couple and think, wow, they got it together. I'd love to be that when I grow up. The reality is that a couple that's got it all together is going to have bad days too.
Yeah,
just like anybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But you work through them and you keep going.
Absolutely. No, I think, Amber and I are going close on 20 years now.
Yep.
It's not easy every day, and we got a lot of practice, I feel like, at it. Not as much as my folks. I mean, they're at 50 now. But they're still working on it.
Yeah. They've always been my inspiration of being married. But here we are.
Well, I think it's kind of neat that you haven't rushed back into anything over these years and just took the time to learn yourself and who you are. And, when that time's right, it'll be right, and you find the person that you want to be with.
Exactly. I'm not rushing anything. it was very traumatic during that time. So.
Well, I think people rush into stuff anyways. It's especially when you're younger. And the older you get, you just kind of start taking things a little bit slower. Obviously, that took me a while to get.
Yeah.
I'm for sure slowed down now.
Yeah. Yeah. You were on the go all the time. And I was just talking to a friend of mine the other day about slowing down, and because she's having a hard time too. And I'm like, sometimes you just have to stop and relax and enjoy life.
I was reading a post the other day. It really hit home for me, and was talking about the same thing that I've been saying since the beginning. And every time I'm telling somebody about my story, it didn't really matter how much money I had. When I was that sick, I just wanted to be around my family and feel loved
and be healthy. Yeah.
And my health back. Yeah. I mean, of everything. That's an invaluable tool to your existence. Obviously.
Exactly.
Tool might be the wrong word, but you should enjoy your health. Well, you got it and live. Everybody's got to make a living, but there is a certain level where it's like, how much stuff does any one person really need?
Exactly. I mean, money makes the world go around, and I totally agree with that, but it doesn't make happiness.
No.
Your family and your friends, and mainly your family, kids, that's what makes happiness.
Absolutely.
All the stuff is fun to have, but where's it going to go when you die?
That's right.
That's the way I look at it. I probably shouldn't look at it right that way, but I do.
Feels like summer's coming on, Stacy.
Oh, I'm telling you, I'm already feeling it. I'm ready.
I'm glad we didn't decide to do this great idea, a month from now. I think we'll both be out here just sweating to death and hating it. But this morning's not too bad, and it's pretty and green, and I just thought it'd be a neat way to record a podcast, change it up a little bit. The whole thing's new. I mean, who knows how this haircutting on camera is going to work out.
Yeah, we're going to see.
We're going to try.
We're going to hope it turns out good.
Yeah, I bet I'll post it one way or another.
Yeah. Check out this haircut.
All right.
Don't go to her.
But yeah, I was kind of thinking about that, and of course, I'm throwing you under the bus right here while we're recording, but did think maybe it was something we could offer to people, and you can ride, I'll take you out.
Yeah. I'm totally
when we
down
get a
for
call for the Broken Road Project and someone can't get out of the house but love to get a haircut, just go and take care of them and
I'm
renew
totally
their
down.
spirits.
And I have done that. I have done that for people, even my customers' family that can't get out. I've gone to their house and given them a haircut because they can't get them out to get them to the salon. I don't do it very often, but I have done it, and it's rewarding.
So Amber said you had done some caretaking for Aunt Joni as well.
Yeah, I helped her. Well, I just stayed with her for a little bit when she was sick, and we've done a color correction on her hair one time because the girl that did her hair totally messed it up. So we tried to make it work.
Well, and she loved. She liked to look pretty.
Oh, yes, she did.
Have her hair. It had to be done right.
Exactly.
So I'm sure she enjoyed that and really appreciated not having to, get out to go get that done. She could still stay
Yes.
what made her happy and looking pretty.
Yes, she did like to look pretty.
I do miss her.
Me too.
Well, that's neat. I think there needs to be more of that. I think, I'm hopeful that by doing these podcasts and letting people know, it'll spark some interest and some thought in their mind of what can I do to be of service to someone else, and how can I treat somebody the way I'd like to be treated.
Exactly.
And, repay that. So I think just the other day we were talking about it again. It's constant conversation that there's just not much compassion or empathy left between people. And it seems like the more that social media and everything is present and the world's getting faster and faster, the less time everybody has for each other.
Exactly.
It's kind of a sad thing.
It really is. It is. It really, truly is. I try to spend as much time as I can with my grandkids and my kids, but they have a life, and I try not to be that meddling mother or mother-in-law, whichever one.
I saw a deal saying that we were the last generation that actually knows what it was like or we will be we're the newest and latest.
Right.
And we'll be the last generation that knows what it's like to not have a smartphone in our hand.
That is true. That is true. I never looked at it that way. But I was telling Amber earlier, turn 51 and you fall apart. I got readers on my head. I can't see the phone without them.
Isn't it great? It's kind of like you get everything figured out and your body starts falling apart.
It all falls apart.
Crazy stuff. So you battled with some sickness years past. It's been a while now. What was that?
I had to have my thyroid. Nope, I don't mind. I had to have my thyroids removed. I had 2 quarters on them, and now I just take medicine to replace my thyroid.
Yeah.
But it took a while to get it regulated.
What was that like when you were going through it, trying to figure that out and even see
horrible.
what was going on? Yeah,
It was horrible because I was also going through a divorce.
Yeah. So just a lot of stress, and then that stress on your body in general.
Right.
Thyroid controls a lot more, or does more to your body than you realize as far as regulating those.
Exactly.
What are some things?
Hormones.
Hormones, that'd probably be the major thing.
Yeah, that's the major thing. Mm-hmm. Your metabolism. It does a lot of different things.
So is it speed it up or slow it down?
Well, at first mine was sped up. I had hyperactive thyroidism at first until I had them removed, and then it threw me into I think. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's right. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it threw me into that, and that's when they were trying to get my medicine regulated and trying to, make all my stuff work again because I had no metabolism, no nothing, and that was horrible because when I had surgery, I had to drink that thicket because I couldn't breathe whenever I woke up. That was horrible. Horrible.
Anybody that doesn't know what thicket is, you can look it up online. I had to do some thicket as well when I couldn't swallow. It's not pleasant at all.
Not at all. No. My kids enjoyed it because they didn't have to hear my mouth, but it was terrible.
Oh, yeah.
I hated it.
It makes you almost afraid. Like you can put it in water and it turns water into a totally different substance.
Yeah.
It'll make you afraid to just grab a bottle of water and drink it, there for a little bit. Right. You're like, ooh, what is that going to be?
Yeah. Yeah.
Man.
Tea was my
I didn't
drug
know
of choice.
you had to have that joy and privilege.
Oh, yes,
well.
I did. That was horrible.
Heather and Kristen that were on the podcast a couple weeks ago, they're going to be laughing when they watch this because it's a regular in their world.
Uh-huh.
But,
yeah,
okay,
I think
well,
it's terrible. Anyway, it just does all kinds of stuff. Or messes with your hormones mainly. And it took a long time to get mine under control because one evening, me and Trent and his wife and my ex-husband decided we were going to ride four-wheelers and dirt bikes. And I'm going to race them on the four-wheeler. And I flipped and broke my collarbone, so that set me back.
That's awful, too.
Yeah.
I remember that, yeah.
They had to eat their hot dogs while Amber took me to the emergency room.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Well, somebody had to stay with the kids.
Yeah. Okay.
Since you were being a big kid.
Yeah, I was being the big kid. Well, that's because of you, because you were out there running that dirt bike, and I was going to race you. But that ain't the first time that we've done stuff like that. So.
No. Oh man. Yeah. So I mean, if it affected your hormones, that affected your kind of your mental state, your
everything.
attitude, everything.
Everything. Yeah,
so
my attitude was terrible.
Was just like, I hate you.
Yes.
I don't like this.
I don't like anybody around me. Yeah. Probably why I'm divorced.
Yeah, well, that was a tough time.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I think at this point, we've been through a lot of stuff. You seem to be doing really well.
Yeah, I'm doing lots better. Life's too short to be unhappy. Mm-hmm. And I'm not settling for just whatever. I want to make my health happy and whoever I decide to be with happy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm not jumping into anything.
No, I agree. And life is really, really short.
It really is.
I was still kind of living that I'm invincible life before the stroke.
And then that slowed you down completely.
Well, yeah. You know me. I'm not really spending any.
Shoot.
I'm not spending any time in the hospital, so to speak. I did a little bit when I was younger.
Right.
A couple of stints, but no broken bones, none of that type of stuff. So.
No, and you've definitely been the daredevil of your family your entire life.
Yeah, it's just a crazy thing. Very humbling and an eye-opener.
It is very humbling anytime you have any kind of medical issues going on.
That's right.
For sure.
I think it's important. I'm honored, and I like to spend a lot more time trying to help people now that I realize what that's like.
Yes.
So hopefully we can get that across to some of the younger viewers.
Definitely.
I think as you get older, you do, you just go through things. You get wiser and you realize that you're not invincible. But when you're younger, that doesn't seem like there's, tomorrow, I ain't worried about tomorrow. Let's roll.
We're going to make it through. Yeah. Why are you worried about that? There's no reason for it. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Are we doing the hair to the side or doing it down?
Probably spiking it back or to the side.
Back to the side.
If it's, yeah.
Right now it's drying, so.
If it's a little short, it's fine. We'll let it grow back out and grow into it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You said shorter. I went shorter.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It'll be good. It'll be nice.
Oh,
Get the haircut. Yeah, I can edit anything out we need to. I may fade something out here in a minute just so we can enjoy a moment.
Yeah. Well, that's a big transformation right there.
Yeah, that's
you
what
went from a big bushwhack to Arlene here. We got a wedding this weekend, so everybody's got to have a haircut. Hunter got his cut.
That's right. I was going to say, we got to talk about that. That's why we're getting a haircut today.
Yep. And Hunter got one on Saturday. He's ready to go.
How many more do you have this week to do?
None.
Oh, wow. What about the bride?
I'm not doing her. She said I could if I wanted to, and I told her I would. Let me rephrase that. I would do it if she wanted me to, but her and her mother decided that I need to have
get to enjoy it.
Get to enjoy it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, no doubt. Just get to sit back and watch somebody else stress about making the bride happy.
Yeah. So my friend Tessa's doing it, and then my friend Ashley is also coming. The girls from the salon.
Oh, cool.
To do all of it. So that's exciting.
Yeah, so you get to just sit back, watch it all happen.
Yeah, but
that
I know
doesn't
me.
happen very often,
I know I'm not going to sit there.
Oh, no.
I know I'm going to be like, okay, let me help.
You should try, though.
I'm going to try because, I mean, that was very nice.
Hopefully this is the only time that Hunter's going to get married.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
So just try to enjoy it.
Exactly. I know you're right on that one. Let me check out your mustache. We got to cut that. Let me put my old lady glasses on and make sure I got it. Don't laugh.
I just stare at you. Yeah. Oh, well, by the way, whenever you couldn't see me on camera, Stacy was giving me a really bad mustache cut.
Yeah. That's funny.
You know, I like it to be long on the sides like it does, but that right there is huge too.
Yeah,
I don't know how those guys do it where their mouth is totally covered up by their
I have
mustache.
one of my best friend's husband. I cut his hair, and he's got a long beard and mustache. He's like, please get it off. He said, food gets in there, everything goes on it.
This thing's like a cape. I'm going to fly away here in a minute.
Besides that, I think I've told you before, you can't be looking ratchet and hanging out with me.
Around?
Wish I didn't get your coffee, right?
No. Well, thank you for the haircut, Stacy.
Sure. Did you check it out?
No. I trust you.
Okay.
And then you know what I do.
Yeah.
Put my hat on.
There you go. It looks good. It looks great.
Yeah, this is what it's all about right here. High tight.
Yep.
High tight.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you. So what do you got planned for today?
Well, since it's wedding week, I'm going to get my little dumplings some lunch.
Who's the little dumpling?
Z and Avery.
Oh, okay.
So Sunday, Mother's Day, after church, Brittany and I and the kids and Benji's family would eat breakfast. And I was talking to Brittany and said, I'm off Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. You know, if you need something, Well, Z heard me, my grandson, and he said, like he didn't know who Z was.
Right.
Anyway,
well, the audience doesn't, so.
Anyway, he said, you're off on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday? I said, yes. Well, then you can bring me lunch. Okay, buddy. I said, I'll either bring it to you or go dash, one or the other.
Up to Huckabee.
Up to Huckabee.
Awesome.
He said, all right. So I called Brittany yesterday, and I was like, Brittany, I said, I'm not going to have time. I'm not going to have time to run to Stephenville, bring their food back, go where I need to go, come back, and go back to Stephenville by 5:30. And she goes, oh, don't worry. They probably forgot. She said, if they ain't said nothing, we're just going to leave it alone. I said, okay, great. Well, guess what? My mic's over there.
Well, this one picks it up pretty good.
Anyway, I said, guess what? She said, guess what? Z called me this morning, right off the bat. He's like, Gigi, you off today? It's Wednesday. I said, yeah. He said, are you going to bring me lunch? I said, you didn't forget, did you?
No, those little kids don't forget anything. Except for stuff that they don't want to remember.
Exactly.
Like, didn't I tell you to put your plate up in the dish in the sink?
It's selective.
Yeah, like we've talked about it 20 times at least.
Yeah.
But then if you tell them, hey, we're going to go and do this on this day, and it could be a year from now, they're going to be counting down the day till right there at the end, and they're going to be like, it's one more sleep until it's time to go. And you're like, well, what are we doing again? I forgot.
Yeah, and that's Z.
They'll remind you.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. So I called Brittany. I was like, really, Brittany? She goes, hey, he walked in my room, sat on the bed, and was like, hey, today's Wednesday. Gigi can bring us lunch. And I said, yeah, well, he called me. She said, yeah, I figured he would. So anyway, that's what main thing I'm going to do, make sure they have lunch today. Whether I go pick it up and take it to them or DoorDash it. They're getting lunch today.
It's pretty often. Is that something you do every week or?
No, I do go and eat lunch with them sometimes. You know, just depends on what I have going on. And when they have something going on at the school, I do try to make it, you know, during the day, which I'm very lucky with my big girl job that I can do that. And I'll bring them lunch sometimes. But they know when I'm off. If I say I'm off, they think that I need to bring it to them.
I think that's another level of disconnect that we deal with too, is the generations not being together anymore. You know,
I know.
And I realize that people move and things happen, and you're going and live your life. But I do feel like that has changed kind of the fabric of our society. Going from, where families worked together and lived together and played together, everything happened together until you did move out. And even when you moved out, if you moved out, you didn't move that far away because it took, that everybody to make something happen.
Yeah, there's a lot of disconnection. You're exactly right with families. And
so I think that's pretty neat that you're still able to get there and do that and take time out of what you could make easily a busy schedule that you don't have time to do things.
Yeah.
You make the time to do that.
I do.
And I think that's basically that's what you do.
Yeah.
I mean, in general, as if you want to make the time for something, you make the time for it.
Agreed.
I've been just as guilty as saying that, I was too busy to do something when the reality was I just didn't really want to do it. So I'm really trying now not to have that in my vocabulary and look at how can I get there?
Yeah.
Because if somebody's asking me about it, it's probably important to them. And if it's important to them, it's probably important to me, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I hear you. And I have a friend that's been calling me, and not that I want to hear her. This is terrible. Not that I don't want to hear her problems, because I do. I feel for her, and I want to, be there for her if she needs somebody. But it's like every time I turn around, my phone is ringing, and I'm like, I got to work. I got to do this. And then I feel bad for not answering it because maybe she really needed that moment. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I totally get it.
Yeah.
I try to make time for it.
Well, and that's a kind of a touch and go situation too, because there are some people that require a lot more attention.
Yes. Needy people.
And then, and they may cause a lot of their own problems. And I think whenever you're dealing with that, with somebody that you do care about, but you watch them over and over again make the same mistakes, it's really hard to have that same compassion for them.
Absolutely.
I'm not looking for any compassion on a stroke. I know some of the things that I did that attributed to it, so I'm not trying to say that I didn't have anything to do with it. Smoking doubles your chance of stroke. I heard that for years and years and just was like, that's not me though. That didn't happen. Even though I'd quit for a couple of years before the stroke, I'm sure that attributed to it. The stress of work. They also said TRT, the testosterone replacement therapy. And that's not a popular opinion, but it was brought up more than once, as a possibility of why are causing factors for my clotting and other things that ended up causing the stroke. So, anyways, kind of probably got off.
No, we didn't, because I think it's very remarkable what you're doing. I think it's awesome that you're bringing an awareness, because I called you the other night about my friend, and seeing if the symptoms were the same. Anyway, so I think that maybe God has a plan for everybody. And He definitely has a plan for everybody. We may not like what He's bringing on to us, but I'm a firm believer in that.
And I wouldn't change. I wouldn't change my situation. I think every time it comes up in podcasts, which has been a lot, and it probably will for a long time, it's a major event for me. But it's not something I would totally change. There's some things I'd like to have back that I lost.
Yeah, for sure.
But man, I care a lot more. A little bit of reading goes a long ways, and it's like all these things that, I don't know the percentages right now, but the amount of people that die or are injured seriously from stroke is a huge number.
Really?
Same as cancer. All these things. There's a long list of things that are taking out people right now. But I think, like I said, reading will educate people, and I want to educate people through the reading. Maybe they can't read or they don't want to take the time, but maybe I can catch them, in a moment where they learn something from the podcast, I hope. Because there's little things all together. It's not like you can just get sick, but there's usually some underlying factor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whether you did it knowingly or innocently did it, it's no coincidence that they're finally taking out all the red dyes out of everything. They're admitting that, okay, there's some harm in that. You dive down that rabbit hole, which I'm not doing today, but you look at the people that own those production companies and all the people that are in together on that whole thing. It's wild.
Yeah.
That is a deep rabbit hole. But
Certainly.
I don't think people put enough weight on their health.
They don't. And I'm the world's worst. I'll tell you all day long, you need to go to the doctor, you need to do this, you need to do that. And I'm the world's worst.
Well, it's not comfortable.
No, it's not. I mean, I go if I need to go.
Right. It's inconvenient.
Yeah.
You're going to go.
Yeah.
And if they tell you something bad, that you got stuff coming up ahead of you that's not going to be fun. So it's almost like, maybe I just don't want to know.
Yeah, same. Well, that's true. But Brittany and I do have a pact. We're going to have a bucket list on things that we're going to do health-wise. Mm-hmm. We're going to, do a mammogram this summer, for instance, and just try to do some of these things because she doesn't like to go to the doctor either. Mm-hmm. And I don't like going to the doctor. Right. And so it takes my time away from whatever I'm doing. I have to sit there for 3 or 4 hours before so
Absolutely.
I'm okay. I feel okay, So, but yeah, we've got a little list going that we're going to do health-wise just to kind of make sure.
Well, and
she's already started.
You mentioned mammogram, breast cancer is a treatable cancer if it's caught early enough.
Right.
And a lot of times it's just that. It's an inconvenient, uncomfortable thing to go have a mammogram. I'm a man, so I don't really know, but I've heard plenty of stories.
Right.
I've been married long enough to hear about it.
Yeah.
And I've also, there's some people I'm planning on coming on that have actually survived that, but it was detected early. They went through some life-saving treatments and dedicated, everything towards getting healthy again and beating that. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, and definitely take care of it because I do have someone that I know that did not take care of it when she had when she found out it's pretty much too late now because it is growing outside the skin, and that's a telltale sign.
Oh wow!
Yeah, how she's still going, and thank God she is, but it's a terrible way to finalize your days.
And in men, it's prostate cancer is also a highly treatable disease.
Yep.
Men are probably even worse about it because, first of all, the way that you have to be checked is uncomfortable for most guys. And, they got other ways to do that now. And they check your PSAs through blood counts, stuff like that. That's a good place to start. Doesn't have to be that uncomfortable situation, but, you got to do what you got to do. And a moment of being uncomfortable is way better than losing your life or the sickness that comes along with that. I know Dad's okay with me talking about his, but it runs in our family, so it's something most likely I'm going to have to deal with too. It's really just important, but it's the inconvenience. Everybody kind of waits. Most things probably are treatable. Some things aren't. You start talking about some of the awful brain degenerative diseases, and they're coming up with wild things that are causing that too. The brain's an amazing thing. I experienced it firsthand and watched it and still continue to get to see like this miraculous thing that is the brain and what it's capable of doing. And I was reading a deal the other day. I'm always reading, but believers in Christ and believers actually have a better, higher recovery rate. Now I realize we're believers, so we're believing miracles and there's things going on, but from the science end of it and medical community, they've done studies on it, and that belief scale directly relates with brain neuroplasticity and that coming back together. But anyways, since you've had the stroke, I've actually read different things because I've had friends, I have a friend that lives out here that's had a stroke, and I was younger when she had the stroke, and I was like, but since you've had it, because I'm closer to you and Amber, I'm like, okay, wow, it really does that. So I've been reading a little bit of things. Plus my friend that has cancer, I worry about her because that is some of her side effects because she's no longer doing chemo. Right. So that is some of the side effects that happen in her life that she has left. So we all have to accept that ultimately even Dexter, him and I were visiting on health in general, and everybody is going to experience one medical emergency in their lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that one medical emergency is when you pass away, but everybody's going to experience that medical emergency.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's going to eventually be gone. That's a pretty hard thing to swallow down, especially the questions that come with it. And for the family members that are left is, man, should we have done more? Can we do more?
Mm-hmm.
So I think, my goal right now to share and hand down to our son is to have that empathy ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
Go out there and spend that time, with the people you love,
Mm-hmm.
and
Definitely.
don't say, I wish I could have. You can. Just like I was saying, I mean, you make time for the things that are important to you.
Absolutely.
And I think it's important to spend that time with the people you love. Like we said, I mean, it kind of all rolls back because
Mm-hmm.
at the end, none of this we can take with us.
That's exactly right. And it's nice to have things that you want. I get it.
Absolutely.
And nice to pay your bills. Those are important. But I've never been that person that got to have all the fancy. Would I like it? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
But I'd rather have happiness with my family and,
Well, I think you talk to a lot of people. I have as well. And you do find out that even the people that have done well, most of them will tell you that the happiness doesn't lie in that money that in the success that they've
exactly.
had.
I have someone just said that the other day.
It does give them freedoms
Mm-hmm.
that other people will struggle with. But you can take the poorest person and you can take the richest person, and they can both have the same exact attitude on life.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be
Mm-hmm.
very sour or it can be very uplifting and positive, regardless of their status in life and the things they have. I mean,
right.
I've met some people that were in really hard times that were some of the most positive, inspirational people.
Right.
You're sitting there
I'm going to tell you, the only reason I got through my stuff is because your wife. So she was my positive person.
That's cool.
She really was. And I've said that for a long time. She's always been that person that was positive and helped me become positive, honestly, because I was such in a dark place for a while. And so I give her credit.
Absolutely. I am very much looking forward to her being able to invest some more time into the project. I think that she's a natural healer.
She really is. She
on
really
multiple
is.
levels.
Yeah.
And her education, with the ongoing education that she does and all that, plus she just reads a lot. She's kind of like a thesaurus as well. She can almost ask her anything about health, and
right.
she has something to say. She's going to probably lean towards the holistic side of it, which I love.
Right.
But she does know that really well. She's well versed in it. So I look forward to her being able to invest some time into the project and help others. I think it's going to be huge.
She's definitely one of a kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, you did get lucky, buddy. You did. I got lucky for her being my friend. So we've all had our trials and tribulations with one another, but you know what? We know that we are always meant to be.
That's right.
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know how long we've been going, but you got anything else you want to go over today, or anything that we didn't talk about? Or
no, I'm just proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm really proud of you.
I appreciate it.
And look how far you've come. Yeah.
Don't make me cry.
We're not doing that today, Trent. Do you see my eye makeup? It's on fleek today, okay? I don't even know if they use that word anymore. I said that one time to a teenager. They're like, what? I was like, I got it from y'all.
Yeah. Well, I've sure worked really hard to get to where we're at.
Yeah.
God's good.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I love you. I appreciate you
too.
coming and cutting my hair.
For sure.
Excited about having a good time this weekend at the wedding.
Yes,
it's going to be fun.
I know. I'm excited.
We got a VRBO Stacy set up.
Yep.
Probably going to have a pretty good time there. And probably won't wreck anything because we're too old to be partying like that anymore.
We don't do that no more.
We can act like we're going to party and be like 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Yeah. See y'all. Yeah. Yeah, because all the kids.
See you in the morning at 5 o'clock drinking coffee.
All my grandkids will be there. So in River.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a house full of kids and my kids. Well, Brittany won't be there, just Jake and Hunter, and I think Hunter's coming. He said maybe, and Benji. So have like a little family reunion, and then
it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Me too. Honestly, it's really sad because I do wish that family reunions would come back like they used to,
Yeah, I remember that when I was younger. They used to have a Gregory reunion, more than the Peterson side of the reunion. But my mom's side, the Gregory's, we always went up there. They had a big pot. I remember that they would fry fish in, and usually it would be like a couple of days, and they'd go out and fish. Little Pawpaw and all them.
Oh, little Pawpaw.
They would go fishing and then come back and get everything ready and then have a big fish fry.
Yeah.
Right there at the lake. Man, that's awesome memories, but it's been probably 20 years since I've even thought of a family reunion.
Well, yeah, I guess the last one I went to and we'd have had one, and that was almost 20 years. 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's probably one I'm thinking of.
Probably is.
Well, we can try it. You know how that goes.
Yeah. Well, I got to work, or my kids got this. I don't know if we'll be able to make it, but I really do wish that they would bring that back for my kids and my grandkids, and I miss it on my family too, because
all we can do is try.
And,
it goes back to that same thing. Hopefully we can instill some values back into these younger kids that are coming up.
Right.
There's obviously some kind of weird generational gap there that
I don't know how they survive.
Changing, again, in a positive way.
I really don't know how those children survive all this time. If they went through the stuff we went through.
Well, it's kind of like, and at the same time, did we baby them too much?
You're exactly right.
Because we didn't have cell phones.
Yeah.
We just kind of went and did what we wanted to do.
And then,
And as long as we were home before it got dark, we were usually okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And then if we didn't, if we did something that we were going to get in trouble for, we got in trouble for it.
Exactly.
For it when we got home.
Exactly.
If we didn't get in trouble for it that day, when they did find out, and they always did.
They always found out,
It didn't matter if it was weeks later. It's like, oh, yeah, you're going to get whooping for that.
Yeah, they're just being babied too much, you're right. And it's not even my kids' generation either, because my kids' generation, my kids, I better knock on wood, except for that young one we got to worry about that one. No, I'm just kidding. But no, they knew better. They knew, my ex-husband and I were actually parents to them. And I think nowadays these parents aren't really parents.
Right.
I think they're, let me go to school and it's your teacher's fault that you didn't do your work. I that just drives me nuts. So I'm very fortunate that my children are not that way.
Well, it's it's changing again. There's another change in a positive way. I'd say the younger generation, or that these 21-year-old type guys right now and gals are way more educated on health and the effects of long-term effects of alcohol abuse. So that's not a big thing in their culture to get. There's still those sections of people that are going to get drunk and get alcohol poisoning and damage their brains. But there's a bigger section, I think, of them now that know how to go out and have a good time without any of that.
Yeah.
Which is pretty awesome.
That's
wasn't my generation.
Yeah.
But to see that and the health conscious, you see so many of them working out, they're eating different. They're aware of the plastics in food and all these different things. They avoid processed foods. Sugars are low on their. They're just way more aware than we were, and our parents didn't know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's like Tupperware was a big thing when we were growing up. And it had some of the worst plastics in it.
Exactly.
You heat stuff up in Tupperware.
Yeah. It's fine. You're not gonna die. You're good. Oh yeah.
Anyway, it's pretty wild.
I know it.
I'm proud and excited to see what River and his age group and the younger ones are going to be like. He's super intelligent. Z's intelligent. All of them are. Avery's intelligent.
Yeah.
They're just too smart for their own good, really.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. Yeah. They are too smart, all of them.
But it'll be interesting to see what kind of little adults, people grow into adults. And
Z's at that age now, though. That kid, stuff that comes out of his mouth, his daddy made over.
He's like a big athlete.
He
too,
is.
Though,
right? He's balling.
He's a little guy, but he's making up for whatever size. With talent, pure raw talent.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
And if he is like his daddy, I'm sorry, Britt.
Yeah. He is just like his daddy. His mouth is. Benji's chilled out in his old age, but Yeah, because the wedding this weekend, I went and bought them a shirt. I'll tell you this real quick, and then we can go. But I had to go and bought their shirts for the wedding, him and Stetson. And so I gave it to Brittany or whatever. I called Brittany. I said, I got the shirt. I'll meet y'all, whatever. And he's in the background. Well, what'd you get me? I said, a shirt for the wedding. And so then he calls me later after he got it. He goes, I got the shirt and it fits. He said, but I'm gonna need to check my calendar. I said, check your calendar for what?
Yeah, exactly.
He said, now what date?
Hold on a second.
Yeah. He said, what date does this fall on? And I said, May the 17th. He goes, let me look. So he starts flipping through whatever. He goes, yeah, I'm available that day. I said, boy, get off this phone. Yeah. You're available no matter what. So anytime he plans something, he's going to check his calendar.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I think they're legitimately growing up like that now. Just super.
He's a mess. He is something else. Especially with this morning, and I was really hoping I'd get out of that lunch food, but I don't think I'm going to.
Oh, no. No,
he knew it.
Put you in, in the place.
And if I don't do it, then I'll never hear the end of it. Yeah, I did. I did. Oh, I'm going to. Don't you worry.
You wouldn't miss it for the world.
No, I'm definitely sending them their Firehouse subs.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm still fasting, so I got a couple more hours before I get to eat.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess I'm fasting. All I got is a Coke Zero. Does that count?
No.
No.
Okay.
I tried.
I'm drinking black coffee.
No, sir. No, sir.
You can do that.
No. I'll have to have some creamer in it, but they do have sugar free, so I'm down for that. I know it's got Splenda in it, but I don't care. It's not sugar.
Well, thanks for joining me again.
Absolutely.
Have an awesome week, and look forward to seeing you this weekend.
Yes.
I love you very much.
Love you too. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. Give us some love.